Hello and welcome to lecture of the course Introduction to Business. My name is Petr Čížek and I'll be leading this lecture. What's agenda? Firstly, I'll do some introduction about the course, about the goal and so on, and then we will go through requirements for credits. Then I'll tell you something about Lean Canvas and business plan, and then I'll tell you something about the presentation you are supposed to create to get the credits of this course. So I'm Petr Čížek. I'm teacher of Department of Business Administration and Management. You can see my office, but the current situation of coronavirus doesn't allow me to be there personally. So please, if you have any queries, write me to my email, which is shown just beneath it, and all resources you would need published on Courseware, so everything you would need you can find there. So what are the requirements for gaining the credits? Firstly, you should create your own presentation. It should be based of Lean Canvas you're creating. Normally, if the lecture would be in contact way, you would create your Lean Canvas during the lecture, but because it is not allowed, it is not possible, I'll tell you what to do, and you would do that alone. And I would like you to send me the presentation on my email before you go to final test, because if you go to final test and you don't send the presentation, that makes you not you can't do the test. So the final test, it's for 60 minutes. It's 2 possible correction. The test will be done through Moodle, which is some sort of website software which allows me to create a test for you, and I'll publish some dates for final test, and it will be in January and February and so on. So it's up to you when you sign in, but just choose your date and attend, and don't forget to send the presentation beforehand. So let's start with the lecture. Let's start with the basic introduction of terms like entrepreneurship and employee and so on and so on. So let's start. What is the difference between employee and entrepreneur? When you are an employee, you have some sort of security, you have stable salary, you have structured work and life, and narrow scope responsibility and consistent routine. In other words, when you are an employee, you are safe with your income. You can expect, you know what you can expect in the future, and it's not that much of stressful as when you are entrepreneur. On the other hand, when you are entrepreneur, this is just in general, they can be of course the exceptions. So I know a lot of employees which are not, they don't have structured work and life and so on. So this is just in general. So in general, when you are an entrepreneur, you should be ambitious and perseverant. You have actually unpredictable salary. So one month you have half of, you can have another month. So it's unpredictable. But you have more work freedom, but less life freedom. Again, in general, you have wide range responsibility, because if you look at that, if you are an employee and you just do your job, which you are really good at, but if you are an entrepreneur, you have to know something about accounting. You have to know something about marketing, about IT, and so on. So a bit of from everything. So you have a wide range responsibility and hectic schedule. Again, it's in general, because I know a lot of employees who has a lot of hectic schedule. But in general, entrepreneurs have a hectic schedule. So when you would decide to become entrepreneur and just create your startup, it's hard. In general, it's hard. Why are startups hard? Despite of advent of the internet, cloud computing, and open source software, which allows the cost of building products all-time low, most startups still fail. So even though it's such easy to start actually building your own company, it mostly you just fail. But it's okay. If you fail, you'll learn from your mistakes and you will start it again. So that's not a problem. But even though it's so easy, you still have a high chance to fail. And the problem in reality is there is no visionary who can see the future. There are years of making innovations and failures. So you can't see the future. Maybe it looks like that it would be success, but you can't see the future. So there can be some circumstances which you can't see, and then it's just very hard. Maybe you try it a few years after with a different approach, and it will work. So, but you can't see the future. The customer validation comes after the product release. This is actually very important, and I'll show you the example from O2, where I'm working as a product manager as well. You should, and you're supposed to validate your product, and I'll tell you later on what does it mean. You're supposed to validate your product with the customer before you invest a lot of money to actually create the product. So this is very important. You cannot simply ask customers what they want. I gave some examples from Henry Ford, and I think you can find others as well. But you can't just ask customer, what do you want? Because they can't imagine the solution very well. The example from Henry Ford says that if I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses, because they can't imagine that they would need actually a car. But given the right context, customers can clearly articulate their problems, but it's your job to come up with the solution. It's not the customer's job to know what they want. Get example from Steve Jobs. So if you give the right context, you give the background information, customers can tell you what are the problems. So you start with the problem, and it's your job to actually come up with the solution. That's why you're an entrepreneur. So again, customers actually can't give you the solution, but they can articulate the problem, and it's up to you to find a solution. This is like, I would like to talk about two approaches how to develop a product, and it's a waterfall against agile approach. So you have an idea, and you can develop this idea by waterfall approach or agile iterative approach. Waterfall approach, which is also known as linear sequential life cycle model, is model of actions followed in the sequential order, and so project or product development team only moves to the next phase of development and testing if the previous step completed successfully. Example of waterfall methodology is PRINCE2. On the other hand, the agile approach helps continuous iterations of development and testing in the development process. The example of agile methodology is Kanban or Scrum. Why this is important? The thing is that if the waterfall approach is a little bit older, and it says, I have an idea, I'll create some design, I'll manufacture the product, I'll test the product, and I'll sell the product, and I will do some maintenance on them. The problem is, when you find some crucial problem, I'll show it for you in this, let's say, red circle. If you find a problem here in testing phase, it's very hard to actually go back and change the design. So waterfall is suitable for some type of products or ideas. On the other hand, the agile is saying, okay, I'll do some basic design, I'll test it, okay, I'll put it on some prototype, and I'll say, okay, I made some mistake, okay, I'll do it again, and again, and again, and again, on small steps. So that's why it's iterative. And then in that case, you can get the feedback from testing, from your customers and so on, very early on, and then you can use it to actually improve your product. So that's difference between waterfall and agile. The advantages of waterfall approach are that it is more suitable for smaller projects. The delivery of the project is faster, and process of development and final product is documented better. The thing is, when you have clear image what you want to do, and it's smaller project, the waterfall approach is better. So let's say you're building, you are building some, let's say, porch in your house, and you have clear vision what you want to do. So you just design your porch, you hire the subtractors, and they will create it for you. And it's fast and easy and it's fine. The limitations are that it is not well adapted for large-scale projects. The quality of initial requirements play a very significant role. That's why I'm saying you have to have clear vision of what you want to do. The change management is very difficult, and testing is one of the late steps in the process, which makes found bugs expensive to fix. As I said, if you find some problem in testing phase, it's very hard to come back to design phase and actually change something. The examples of projects can be like building of highway, house, bridge, and implementing small changes to existing projects. For example, fulfill a new tax law requirement and so on. On the other hand, agile project, the advantages are that it is more customer-centric. Agile teams are more motivated and self-organized, so it's likely to provide a better result from the development projects, and the result fits better to customer needs. So the agile approach is based on the center of the agile approach is a customer. This customer says hers or his problems, and you find in the solution, and you are tested if the solution actually solves the problem. And in that case, it's also more motivated for the team members, because they are in contact with the customer. They can find, they can see the solution, the result quite early on, and it's better in this point of view. There are also the limitations of agile. Sorry, there is a small mistake. There is agile here. Agile. Sorry for that. It's not a useful method for small development projects. Cost of implementing an agile method is a little bit more, so it's more costly than waterfall, and project can easily go off track. So maybe you end up somewhere when you don't want to be. The examples of products where waterfall is better to again agile. Sorry about that. Again, here is agile. So the examples of products where agile is better to use a large customer-centric project like Dropbox. So if you're creating some new product, large product, huge product like Dropbox, you really need to do it through agile approach, that you asking your customers what they actually really need to solve of their problem, and you finding the solution in iteration point of view. There is some video you can play. What is the difference between waterfall and agile? Play down. You have link here, so play down, and so you can have further information about this topic. So why we are doing agile approach? Why I was doing the interaction between waterfall and agile? The thing is, agile is the center of lean canvas methodology, and lean canvas, I'll tell it later on, is a way how you can develop your business idea, but you do it by agile approach. As you can see here, you have a first plan. You can identify some possible business ideas, and then you try to develop your you say this first one is not very good, so you don't develop it further, and you have idea B and idea C and idea D, E, and you say okay. Then you find the risky part. You starting to understand the problem and say okay, the idea B is not very good, and I don't want to work on it anymore. So you have only idea C and idea D, and actually I'll use this pen because it won't disappear. So you have this A, B, C, D, E. So in first step, okay, my idea A, I don't like it. I don't like idea D. Then you start to understanding the problem, and it's okay, idea B is not good because, for example, I can't find the solution for the problem. And then I'll try to define the solution, and I think okay, this would be very expensive, so no idea E, and you end up with idea C, which actually is very suitable for you and for your company and for the development. So in this iterative approach, you will find the right idea to actually create. And also, when you will test your idea, you will use agile approach as well. And but I'll tell you why this is good. There are actually two ways how you can describe your business idea, and not only describe but also develop a business idea. It's by using a business plan or by using some agile methods like lean canvas, business canvas. That canvases are a lot of them, but I'm using and I'm preferring, or I prefer lean canvas, which is easy to understand and easy to use. What is the difference? Business plan is older, and if you will go and you will try to get a loan, for example, from bank, you will be asked to create a large, heavy business plan. You will ask to create a document, like 40 pages document, where you write what's your idea, how you're going to finance it, what is the plan for next 5 years, and so on. And you'll spend like weeks on it to actually create the document. The problem is that what if you don't know if your idea is right or wrong? So what if the customers will say this idea, this solution is wrong? You'll spend like weeks on just writing down the business plan, and you just can throw it away and start again. That's why in some cases, and it's mostly in early development of the idea, it's better to use approach like lean canvas. So it's one page when you describe your idea, describe your customer, describe the problem you're solving, and those will help you to validate your business idea. And then if you would like to get some money, you go to bank and you will create a business plan, but you already you are already sure, or in some content you are sure that that your idea is right. So about ideas in general, everyone gets hit by ideas when they least expect them. So let's say in showers while driving home from work, and you get great idea. A lot of people having them. Problem is that most people ignore them. They just say, okay, that would be great idea, and they just forget about them. But entrepreneurs choose to act on them. Most entrepreneurs start with a strong initial vision and play A for realizing that vision. The thing is, and this is the text from a book, Running Lean. The thing is that unfortunately most plan A's don't work. It means that your first idea doesn't work. It's because it's just the first idea. So the first step is writing down your initial vision, and then you start sharing it with at least one other person. So you write it down, let's say even you can write it down on napkin, and you just ask one another person, what do you think about my idea? And they will give you some feedback, and then you can change your idea a bit or a lot. You don't know. Traditionally, business plans have been used for this purpose, but while writing a business plan is a good exercise for entrepreneur, it falls short of its true purpose, facilitating conversation with other people. So as I said before, it's good to write a business plan. It will help you to think about, but it's very hard to actually share it with other people to get the feedback, and you spend a lot of money. And it's like it's written here. Moreover, since most plan A's are likely to be proven wrong anyway, you need sometimes something less static and rigid than a business plan, which takes weeks and can consist at, let's say, 60 pages. So for you in the start, some sort of easy, clear, and easily understandable way how to communicate your idea is key, and this should be some sort of tool like is Lean Canvas. So the essence of developing the idea is that you should document your plan through using Lean Canvas or business plan, identifying the riskiest parts of your plan, and systematically test your plan. So we'll show the steps later on. So Lean Canvas. The idea behind the Lean Canvas is to quickly sketch the business idea instead of using several weeks to develop a business plan. The Lean Canvas is divided into 9 components. You start with the problem and customer segments. I think I will tell you more. Then you find the solution. You will get to identify your unique value proposition, unfair advantage, key metrics, key activities, channels. So those are paths to customers, cost structure, and revenue stream. So those are the most important parts which you should identify in the beginning of developing your idea. So why Lean Canvas? Why using this agile approach? Firstly, it's fast. Compared to business plan, it is easy to outline multiple business models on a canvas in one afternoon. It's concise. The canvas forces you to pick your words carefully and get to the point. This is great practice for distilling the essence of your product. You have 30 seconds to grab the attention of an investor and 8 seconds to grab the attention of customer on your landing page. So you have to be concise, and it's portable. A single page business model is much easier to share with others, which means it will be read by more people and probably will be more frequently updated. Solution is only part of the canvas, despite entrepreneurs spending too much time talking about it. So it's not only about the idea, the solution, but it's about the problems you're solving and why you are unique and so on. So it's not only solution. Lean Canvas helps deconstruct your business model into 9 districts, subparts, I told you already, and they are systematically tested. So how to construct Lean Canvas? When you first start out, all you have is a problem, a solution, and maybe a customer segment. Just as rushing to build a solution can lead to waste. So you start with the problem and customer segment. So you're asking, what problem I would like to solve? And also, who has this problem? That's very important. I'll say it again. I'm starting with what problem I would like to solve and who are the customers or users. This is I would like you to do in the presentation, the first part. What problem I'm solving and what customers I'm focusing on. Who has the problem? And then you will say what solution and why the solution is unique, and you will describe your solution and why it is unique. But firstly, you start with the problem and the customer. And then you will have how you're going to sell it, so it's channels, what's going to be your revenue. Let's say, are you going to be paid monthly, it's one-time payment, and so on. What are the costs and cost structure? It doesn't have to be in huge details, it's just cost structure. And key metrics, how you're going to measure if you are success or not, and if you have any unfair advantage. So what capabilities or skills or resources you have, which most of your competitors don't have. So let's start with the first step. When you first start out, all you have is an inkling of a problem, a solution, and maybe a customer segment. Just as rushing to build a solution can lead to waste. Don't start with the solution, start with your customers or users and the problem you're solving. The first step is, do you have a problem worth solving? So is there a problem which is worth solving? Some interesting problem, huge problem, which the customers are suffer under. Who could be your customer or user? Problem customer segment usually drives the rest of the canvas. It should list existing alternatives. Most problems have existing solutions. Identify other user roles that will interact. And in search engine, the customer is the advertiser, while users are people running searches. So be concise, be clear what is your customer and what is your user. As I said here, in search engine, the customer is advertiser. This is where you get in money, but when you design the product, those users, those are people who are actually running the searches. This is a very nice video, and I truly recommend you to play it. It's why starting with the problem is important. That's huge. Second step is defining your unique value proposition and your solution. Unique value proposition is one of the most important boxes in Canvas. It defines why are you different and worth buying and getting attention. It is a clear message that describes the advantages of your offer, what makes you different and distinguishable you from the competitions. Why are you unique? Why are you different from your competition? Why are you better than your competition? Some tips: be different, but make sure your difference matters. So just don't be different to be different. Target early adopters. Your product is not ready for mainstream customers yet. So target the customers which are willing to change, to try something new. Focus on finished story benefits, highlighting benefits over features. So if you saw, the presentations of Apple, they focus on benefits. So what are the benefits of their products than just features? Write unique value proposition, which is story formula, end result customer wants, what end result customer wants, and to what specific period of time, and address the objections. Again, there is an example from the book, from Domino's slogan: hot fresh pizza delivered to your door in 30 minutes, or it's free. So it has everything. Some example of car insurance. where we did it very, very far away. It's like 6 or 7 years in the past, in O2, where we identified the problem that people are paying the same insurance even though they don't drive often or drive carefully. And this is a problem. In that time there was a people actually paying for the insurance, car insurance, and they weren't driving. They just drove once a week to shop, and that's all. That's it. And they had this problem, and they didn't want to pay more money, or at least the same money for insurance like the people who are driving every day. Let's say to work. So the customers who had this problem were old people and casual drivers. And our solution was that we offer adaptable car insurance by monitoring their driving data through mobile phones. So we just monitor the mobile phone movement, and we will define some level of insurance every month and charge the customer. So this was the solution. And why this is unique is that paying only as much as you drive, paid easily with your mobile invoice. So this is why this solution is unique. And we would like to sell this solution through our shops, call centers, and on website. We wanted to pay it, this fee would be paid monthly in O2 invoice, and we would like to measure it by insurance, how many insurance was sold, and customer feedback. And we didn't do the cost structure yet, so you don't have to fill always all of the parts of Lean Canvas. And our unfair advantage was that we had a huge customer base, and we still have a huge customer base, and we have data from mobile network which insurance companies actually don't have. So this was the idea we wanted to test, and before we actually paid a lot of money for business analysts and development and prototype creation and so on. We just asked our customers what they think about this idea, and they actually said, we like the product, we like the proposition, we had this problem, we like the product, but we have a huge problem with monitoring the data through mobile phone. This was the problem. I don't want to do that. The problem is we like how to pay less for car insurance, but we don't want to our mobile phones to be monitored. So no, this idea, I don't think I will buy your product at all. So we asked these customers, we got negative feedback, which is still fine, because we said, okay, we don't do that. The idea is fine, but the solution is not very good. So this monitoring of customers' mobile phone is a huge problem. So let's say, okay, we don't do that. So instead of we spent like weeks on validating the idea, actually we spent weeks on creating just a business plan, or just the description of the idea, or the technical description of the idea. We just tested them by using Lean Canvas on our customers, and they said, no, this is not good product. We don't want to buy that. Buy it. So this will give us feedback to just don't develop this product further. This is why it is important. So we tried another. We tried product B, C, D, but we didn't spend much money on this idea. This is the goal. To save you time, save you money, just to focus on ideas which is for customers interested and they are willing to pay for it. This is some example from Facebook. And now that we go to another parts of Lean Canvas, how to construct it. So another things you need to define is pricing. So you should define the revenue streams and the prices for your offer. The pricing is part of your offer and it needs to be designed and tested. You should think also about channels. What are the channels you want to use to reach your customer? Define inbound channels that lead customers to your offer, like CEO, white papers, blogs, social media, and so on and so on. And outbound channels like ads, calls, fairs, and conventions. Be creative. Sometimes, this guerrilla advertisement is very effective and can help you to get to your customers and to be eventually successful. Another is key metrics. It is to understand if your idea and your business work well. Define key metrics as indicators to measure your success. For the beginning, key metrics are the activities of a user that help us the business grow. So number of registration, number of prospects, and so on. So in other words, what are the metrics of your success? How many people subscribe to newsletter? How many people pre-ordered your product, and so on? So that's very important. Costs. List the most important costs for your offer. This might influence the pricing. So of course, if your costs will be very high, so your price of your product should be high as well. So in other words, you would lose money. And very important thing is to systematically test your plan. Not only define and identify risky as part of your plan, but test your plan. As I told in the beginning, it's about iterative process. It's about repetitive testing, feedback, and redesign of your product. So you start try it this way. You start with the idea. You build a prototype, or you build a Lean Canvas. You build paper, you just tell people how it works. You create some idea of product. You measure on your customers. You get the data. You learn from the data, and you change. You pivot your idea. And again, test again. Again, you create new product. Again, you measure. Again, get your data. Again, you learn from data, and then change the idea again, and again, and again, and again. More iterations you do, better the solution will be. Do the smallest thing possible to learn. You don't have to actually create functional prototype. I'll show you the example from O2, but it's not necessary to do actually functional prototype to test if your idea is supposed to be successful. There is an example from Dropbox. Dropbox is a software which helps you synchronize files between computers. And the example is that while building Dropbox at MIT, Drew Houston posted a 3-minute demo on Hacker News that went viral. The video plus teaser landing page helped him attract tens of thousands of early adopters, find a co-founder, and get accepted into Y Combinator, which is very large and famous business incubator in US. At the time, Drew estimated his launch date at less than 3 months away. It took him 18 months to publicly launch Dropbox. In other words, he tested if the product will be successful or not, they have potential to be successful, by actually doing only video, nothing else, just a video, what the product will do and how it will solve your problem, and it became very successful and actually got to create a very successful company. Another example is that you don't need a restaurant to test your new food concept, so you don't have to pay a lot of money for actually renting a restaurant, buy equipment and so on. Some guy, he just started with his trailer. He has started selling the food from trailer, and then he said, okay, it's very successful, people like it, people are willing to pay money, and then he actually opened the restaurant and invested the money and time into it. So another example how you don't have to do it actually full scale. It's fine to try it as a pilot or in just to create a video and so on. Validate qualitatively, verify quantitatively. What does it mean? You have an idea. Firstly, you do validation. This means that you validate your business idea. So you do it qualitatively, which means you don't base on hard data, you just talk with people, you just ask people for their opinions and so on. So you get the feel of your business idea. Then you create some hypothesis. So say, I am saying, my customers is telling me that this is a really good idea, you should pursue your idea. So I say, okay, if in 1 month, I can get more than 1,000 subscribers, that I'm saying that it's success. The data shows it could be a success. So you do your verification part, then you start to measure subscribers, and if you meet the hypothesis, the criteria for hypothesis, you will actually say, okay, the idea has the potential to be really good. So validate quantitatively by, for example, an interview, and verify quantitatively, which means a number of subscribers, the number of pre-orders, sales figures, and so on. So what does it actually mean? The market is riddled with extreme uncertainty. The good news is that when you have a lot of uncertainty, you don't need a lot of data to learn. Your initial goal is to get a strong signal, positive or negative, that typically doesn't require a large sample size. You might be able to do this with as few as 5 customers interviews. So the qualitative validation can be only like, let's say, 5 customer interviews. And you aiming for strong negative or positive feedback. So a strong negative signal indicates that your bold hypothesis most likely won't work and lets you quickly refine and abandon it. However, a strong positive signal doesn't necessarily mean your hypothesis will scale up to statistical significance, but it gives you permission to move forward on the hypothesis until it can be verified later through quantitative data. So that's about it. I would like to give you some examples from O2 when I was product manager responsible for mobile products. We have assignment to come up with a new product and test it on the customers. So what we did is that I came with the idea with a product of O2 Ochránce, which is supposed to be some device helping old people to actually call for help. There were 2 parts of the device, like one small, you put it on the neck, a second large, this one is small one, this one is a big one, and it's supposed to, when the person is in distress, sorry. So we supposed to come up with new product. I came up with this product and I said, okay, I would like to sell it for 99 crowns per month. So it will be like lended device. They don't buy it; they just rent it, and that was actually that. And I came to a commission, and they said, okay, that's fine, that's a good idea. Let's test it. So I said, okay, I would like to test it in a shop. So I bought some device. It actually didn't work, doing something else, which was like this one. And I said, okay, let's ask people if they would like the product. And we did it on a shop, and we created 2 posters, or our marketing department created 2 posters, and that's me. And as you can see, I was much younger. It's like 5 years ago, and this was the display. This was the poster, and that's me. And we put this prototype there, and we asked people, would you like we asked actual customers, would you like to buy our product if it costs 99 crowns? Like, it was serious. And they said yes, no, and so on. And we tried to measure it. We had some open sales questions, we had some my story, some objections. So this was like arguments to actually sell the product. Launch date was like, it's five years ago. It was for one month in one particular shop in Hostivař. And the results was that the product is fine, the price is fine, but we thought that our customers would be seniors and seniors' offspring. But when we ask seniors, like old people, would you like to buy this product for yourself? They said, no, this can never happen to me. I'm not going to ever happen something bad to me, so I don't need this product. On the other hand, the sons and the daughters of these old people, they said, fine, that's good, and I think it's useful. So we understood that our customers are not the old people, but the offsprings of old people. It was very important. So like 40s, 50s, people in 40s, 50s. And we also understood that the design product of the product was not very good. We understood that the price is quite fine, and that there is some competition, which was like Alligator in that time, and that they will thought it through. So this was actually really good feedback from actual customers about the product. The O2 said actually we won't do that. It was because the price of developing the actual product will be not rentable enough with the size of the market. So the rentability wouldn't be there. So we decided not to do that. But the product by itself, it was quite fine after some tweaking of design and so on. So that was fine, and we got really good feedback from customers for a very small amount of money. We spent just 1 month. People come in there asking the clerks, and they will asking them if they want to buy the product. They said yes, no, and the reasons. And we can work with this feedback. We actually can have this decision if we continue or not with the product. So very good. I fully recommend to actually test your product. So another thing is that you should get out of the building. Always, as I said with this example, don't try to figure out your business idea in meeting room in the central in headquarters of the company. You can't do that. You have to ask your customers. Get out of the building. It's very, very important, and I can't stress that any much more. So this was Lean Canvas and this iterative approach. Another approach is this business plan. The business plan is, as I said, is this rigid, very small, hard to create, and difficult to create document with 50, 60 pages, which actually describes detailing your product. You should do that, but you should do it after you actually validated your product, or when you need some money, for example, from bank or from investors. So you have to do the business plan, but to validate your product, don't do the business plan. In my opinion, do the Lean Canvas. If you need the money, or you actually trying to invest a lot of money into your company, you should do the business plan and do it thoroughly as it was meant to be. So business plan is a written statement that describes and analyzes your businesses and gives detailed projections about its future. A business plan also covers the financial aspects of starting or expanding your business, how much money you need and how you'll pay it back. So why write business plan? Helps you get money, that's very, very important. Helps you decide to proceed or stop. So maybe you validated your plan, but when you do detailed financing, you said, okay, I'm not going to do that because it won't be very rentable. Lets you improve your business concept. If you think about something very, very close, maybe you can find something which you can improve, and improves your odds of success. Of course, if you work on something very hard and you think about it thoroughly, you can enhance your chance to actually be success. The users of business plan, insiders like entrepreneur, management team, employees, outsiders, banks, lenders, investors, suppliers, potential customers, all of them, they actually can be interested in your business plan. The major sections of business plans are executive summary, company description, product description, typical customer, industry and competitor description, marketing plan, financial plan, and time schedule. We go through them thoroughly. Firstly, executive summary. Executive summary is the plan in miniature. It is not an introduction because it should capture all important points of whole plan in just one page. The summary sets the tone, determines how eagerly the document is read, and encourages readers to turn the page. You should consider your readers. So who are the readers of yours? So company descriptions, you should answer the questions like, what is the history of the company? What is the structure? Who owns the company? What has been achieved to date? Financial background, and so on. So all information about what is a team. If you're a company of two, you have to show yourself and your colleague why you are the best candidate to actually make this company success. Those are some entities you can do: sole trader, limited liability company, joint stock company, and so on. So those are different types of companies you can actually create. Another part is product description. You will describe your product. You will visualize the product, and you'll describe where you are going to sell your product, the price of the product, and so on and so on. So just a product description. There are different models how you can actually sell your product. You can do business to business, which is, the example is Macro, when you actually selling to other businesses and they are selling to end customers. Or you can do it B2C, which is like Alza, when you actually selling your product directly to customers, or customer to customer, where you are creating an environment where two customers will contact each other. So Aukro, for example, So the descriptions are here, so you can read it. Another is typical customer. Who is your customer? Define your customer: age, interest, wealth, gender, and so on. The typical customer will actually have impact on your product design. Industry and competitors. What is your market? What opportunities and threats are you facing? Who are your competitors, and so on. So you should do the analysis of the competitors and the industry and the market. You can use special analysis. Those are macroeconomic factors which has impact on your company. You can do Porter's 5 forces, which help you analyze, the close environment, external environment, like threats of potential entrants, threats of suppliers, buyers, substitutors, and competitive rivalry. This will give you the idea of the market you are actually facing. You can use strategy groups, which is analysis of which competitors are close to you based on metrics, and those metrics are completely on you to define. So let's say this is an example of some pharmaceutical companies, and on one axis is research and design intensity, and second is overseas focus. So let's say the companies who have high intensity of research and design and are selling their drugs and medicines to abroad and to all around the world, they are in the group of emerging globals. On the other hand, when you have some pharmaceutical companies which they actually sell on the local market, and they don't create their own medicine, they are just actually using the open with the patents which are already due. So this type of companies can be in this group of exploiters and so on. So those strategic group, it helps you to understand competition, analyze of strategic opportunities and mobility barriers. If you, for example, want to change from exploiters to emerging globals, how you can do that. You should also define your marketing plan, how you're going to promote your product, your financial plan, your profit and loss forecast, break-even point. You should forecast very well. So you can use single point forecasting, range forecasting, and multiple future forecasting. You should define in which stage you are and how the development of your revenue will look over the time, and how you're going to finance it. If you do IPO, or you just get to grow organically, and so on and so on. You should define your break-even point, which says what contribution from sales is sufficient to cover your overheads. In other words, how much sales I have to do to actually cover the total costs. So which means I need to sell 500 products to just not be in loss. Let's break even point about. You should define your cash flow, because cash flow is number one problem for small medium enterprises, especially when small company as your company are working for a large company where they will pay you after 3 months or so. So you have to pay rent every month, but you get paid a lot of money, but you get paid after 3 months. So it can be disaster for your company. And you should create some business timelines. So how you define some milestones, and how you actually which activities you will do in those milestones. What you should define, which product life cycle, and so on. I also put here some some additional material. This is about Lean Canvas, and some list of resources and additional material. You can read here some videos, some inspirations, and so on. So don't worry, just use it as you will, and I think it will be helpful for you. So this was about the theory. For a test, please read everything in this presentation. The test will be from this presentation, but whole presentation. So read all the text, and so you would be prepared to actually answer the questions. For example, what is a maturity stage of product life cycle? So that was important. Another part is the presentation you have to create. So this is the presentation template which you can find on Courseware. You should use the template. Don't make it like a template, really like a template, like guideline. I would like you to actually use colors, pictures as you wish. Try to sell your idea, so use it. Follow the lecture material and send me your presentation by email, and it should be fine. Firstly, I would like you to make overall summarization of your business idea. So the goal of this presentation is you to create a business idea, to create a lean canvas on your business idea, and make a presentation from it. So executive summary, describe overall summarization of your business idea. The problem, as we said in lecture, you should start with the problem, what you are solving, who are the customers or end users of your solution, or in other words, what are the customers and users of the solving the problem, having the problem, and what solution you actually are giving, and why it is unique. You should define and what price and how you're going to sell it, and you should write where you're going to sell it and how you're going to test it, because as we said, you need to test your business plan. So this was about the presentation. I would like you to send me before you go to test. Okay, so thank you for your attention. I hope it was helpful and interesting, and see you on the final test, and I hope you will be successful. Thank you. Bye.